Good morning and welcome to Equity Story Trade Watch, the 16th of August, Story Trade Watch, the 16th of August. Today's Matildas against England. Oh, can't wait for that. I tell you what, getting exciting. Everyone's going to be watching, so looking forward to that. But we have to get over this today, which is not going to be a good day by the looks of things. I'm going to talk about today about the state of affairs overnight in the US. I'm going to look at today's announcement. I'm not going to do a look at the thought of the week because there's just so much to cover this morning, especially from company announcements. I'm going to go through those and see where we're at. So before we go on, first thing is first, I need to talk to you about looking at the disclaimer. So let me put a disclaimer so you can have a look exactly. That's why I'm speaking about the general advice only, nothing else, right? So every time I speak about stocks, it's pretty much based on fundamentals and technicals only. So it's going to be a lot of information today. All right, let's go through. Let's switch to straight away trade economics so we can see exactly what's going on. And like I said, it's not pretty because China, it's all about China right now. And it looks a little bit scary, I have to say. So actually, before we go to China, let's have a look at this morning wrap. So we've got two things going on in China. First of all, the property sector, right? It looks pretty dire over there. More and more, I suppose, issues coming to the fore with the property space in China. We've already seen enough information out of economic wise out of China to suggest that they are not faring too well at all. And now the shadow banking as well looks like in trouble as well. So potentially there's a real big problem coming up, and we probably need to brace. There could be some big fallout. There could be some real trouble ahead, really. How China gets out of this is going to be interesting, but it could take a lot of collateral damage like us, and probably a lot of economical growth as well globally. Yeah, so look, it is quite interesting, quite scary at the same time. So that's one part of the issue. And remember, that's going to affect us for sure, especially the commodity prices. We can see they're coming down. Iron ore is probably the big one that's maybe get affected as well. But the other problem is the US and the Fitch. They're talking about now looking at sweeping downgrades to the smaller banks, right? So more, I suppose, issues, small issues for the US. That's not going to go down well either. So from that point of view, it just looks like a little bit of, well, not just a little bit, probably a lot of turbulence coming up, I'd say, when you look at those two issues from China and the US. So maybe there's a bit of profit taking going through right now. You know, we're in the middle of reporting season. It is not fun anyway with the the potential minefields that are out there, the potholes that we find ourselves in. So look, it's never going to be dull. So we just got to brace ourselves, take it day by day almost, and trade it accordingly. Always stick to your charts, always stick to the fundamentals. All right, so what is going on in commodity space? And it is weaker in a few things. So if I go to, you can see lead down 2% for the week, aluminium down 2.5%, tin down 9%, zinc down 6%. It's not pretty, right? It is not pretty out there. That's why BHP and some of the other stuff is not going greatly. Let's have a look at some of their main metals. So let's look at gold. That's sort of holding on 1900. That's again at a key level. If it doesn't hold that, gold players might also be in trouble a little bit. Copper down 2.5% for the week. Iron ore remarkably holding on still pretty well, right? But I think that potentially, if there's more trouble in China, that can't stay like that over 100. I don't think. So that could potentially go back as well. Now, then you look at lithium, our pride and joy that was going on quite well for the last 6 months, down 2% for the week, down 17% for the month. If you look at the charts, it is a little bit weak and not looking great. So potentially that could pull back to that 200,000 and below. So we're watching all that. We're not probably trading anything commodity related because it is looking pretty sick. So let's actually switch on and let's have a look at some of these BHPs and so on, just to see how they're actually faring. So let's go here and you can see, hopefully you can see that. So let's look at BHP to start off with. And chart wise, yeah, that's not great, right? So if you are trading this either through there, well, probably should have been out there. But anyway, if you are in this for some reason, you've got to be looking at that and going, it's not looking great. What do I do? I'd say wait into the week first of all, right? But if you're in this for any sort of trade, you probably wouldn't be in this. If you're in this for a dividend, then maybe put it on a monthly and go to yourself, okay, I'm still okay. But if it gets under $40, I'm out, right? That's probably my only concern here, $40. And probably the others are probably very similar. So I know some of the high flyers. So if you just go back again to the weekly and you look at like something at S32, well, we still got the long-term view of positivity in some of these. We are coming up in, it's probably, there's a pilot saying on the intercom saying, guys, please put your seatbelts on. We are going through some turbulence. We could experience some, issues. So, if you're a good passenger, you'll fasten that seatbelt. That's for sure. So you can see S32 is down below trend. So you probably wouldn't want to touch this. And there might be even a sell signal coming through, right, in this at the end of the week. So definitely wouldn't be in there. If you look at maybe something like an MIN as well, that's probably looking great either. Look at that. That's just looking lower and lower and lower. So yeah, look, it just looks pretty ugly at the moment in that space. So just be wary, really not too much to write home about. All right, let's look at some of these results. So we've got a few to go through, right? So let's have a look and see where they're at. Remembering, of course, that the market is actually down quite heavily today. So just before I go on, let's have a look at the markets. They are down that's XJO, yeah, down 1.13%, so 82 points. So that's obviously not great. So let's look at some of these stocks, see how they're going. So CPO, that's from yesterday, right? Let's have a look how they're going. Not too bad, down 2% for the week. Daily, that's probably going to give us a bit of a tail. That's actually below. Just leave it close like that so we can see a bit better. Actually, look at 6 months. So it's below now on the daily, down 4%. You probably want to go, nah, I'm out of this. If you are in this for a trade of any kind, I think, it's looking, technically speaking, if you look at the weekly, it looks okay still, but you've got that 2 more days to go. I think the market reaction to the report day doesn't give you that confidence they're going to stay up there, but technically still a hold. So let's look at CDA. So that's another one from yesterday result. And I went back through to February because they haven't had any updates since then. And I just wanted to see exactly what they said in the February results to see whether this actually makes any sense as a good result versus what they've come out with and what they said. So they didn't give me profit guidance. So they stayed away from that and said, look, I can't give you that. Fair enough. They did give a little bit of guidance of what they're expecting for the 2 businesses, communication and the metals detecting business. And just looking through, I think it's okay, but not brilliant. So I think it's just enough to get the market to say, let's see what happens, right? Overnight, just basically benefit of the doubt, saying it's okay. They didn't give us anything to worry about, but they didn't give us anything to get excited about in a way. So if it holds on to the trend lines, I'm okay with this, right? So I think that's what I'm going to take it. So you've got, okay, it's a story that probably the technique is a hold. Fundamentally, it's okay, but you would not get excited about a trade at this stage at the moment. All right, let's go to the next one. And I've got FCL from yesterday. So FCL yesterday went in a trading hold. They're going to raise some cash at $2.20 odd. They also come up with the numbers. The numbers weren't fantastic, I have to say, right? So I'm a little bit worried that there is not going to be much growth for them. And I expect a little bit more, to be honest, out of this group. So even though they went to the capital raise, which is probably the right thing to do if they need cash, I think that the results were too weak for me to think that this is going to bounce back pretty quickly at $2.50. So it might sort of languish on these trend lines. So it looked to me, honestly, $2, it's got to hold to the $2. And I know it's still trading on $2.19, but that result just shows that it's actually now below the actual price that they're raising the cash at. So it is, the trade is dead, right? So we had a trade going on there. That's gone. So if you're a trader probably in this, you're going to probably get out about it in the week. Even though it's holding the trend, it's below what it started with. It's just too much falls, right? So I certainly would not be, I don't think fundamentally I'd be in this, right? At the very least. All right, let's go to the next one, FBU. So FBU this morning, so we're going to go do this morning's announcements. And again, look at that, down 10%. It's just not a great, look at that. That is ugly. So this is definitely a sell by the looks of things at the end of the week. So if you're in this, and again, look, it's interesting, isn't it? When you look at the charts, it doesn't suggest anything that's going to be a bad result in any sort of sense. Yet they've come up, they're pretty, I suppose you look at it, not an inspiring result and a result that was taken fairly negatively. And the market's not taking any prisoners at the moment. If anything's that even remotely off kilt, they sell. If it's reasonably good, they will buy it, right? But it's got to be pretty good for the market to buy it. But it's skittish. The market's skittish. So anything bad, you're gone pretty much. So this one is looking not great. It's selling down and looking to go lower on those results. All right, let's look at SWM. So 7 West Media. Look, it should be going okay because they've got Matildas, right? Matildas are going great guns. Everyone's talking about Matildas. Even the ratings agencies, they're saying this is the biggest viewing audiences they've ever had since the Olympics. The marketers are saying that Matildas are probably the best marketing tool you can possibly ever find in Australia, right? Over the last 20 years. So it's going very, very well for SWN for picking up Matildas as their sporting, I suppose, code, right? To show to the masses. So it's paying off big time for them. But what's going on today? Not much, unfortunately. So you're probably expecting a little bit better, but you look at the EBITDA in the actual result, it went backwards. So there's not much to excitement. And I know this could be a one-off for 7 West with Matildas. So it doesn't work that way for a long-term investor like me, having that shot in the arm from something. But still, technically, no. Fundamentally, we've tried this before. It didn't work. So for me, it's just too difficult. We pass on this. It's probably better stories out there at the end of the day. All right, let's go to Bapcor, BAP. Let's see where they're going. Are they trading? Are they not trending? And look at that. And all they did was pretty much update the market to say, we've hit our guidance. Thank you very much. We did okay this year. I suppose also they did is they give us a bit of a clue for next year, which is okay as well. So there's no disappointments in that result, which is nice. And up she goes. Now, this is a nice one. One of the very few today and actually look at that last week, it's gave you a bit of a clue that maybe there's a good result coming. So it's jumped up nicely, right? The only problem I've got is now you can see previous, and this is actually daily. Let's go to the weekly. But anyway, it works the same. So previous weeklies, there's resistance around that 680. And I know it's jumped today, but we still got 2 days to go, right? So I certainly not will be buying on this yet. I'd be waiting to the end of the week to see how this finishes. If they can finish around $7, maybe there's a trade there, right? That probably is a trade there. But at the moment, there's no way. There's just too much resistance around here. So, we've had this before, right? Look at this previous, let's go to you look at this previous green candle right here. Jumped up nicely, very similar. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. It just could not get through. So I'm a little bit maybe not as enthused when I look at that as a story and as resistance technically as I should be. But anyway, that's just me. Wait till the end of the week and we'll see where we go through. But at least good result, right? So at least they've got a big tick box ticked right there. All right, let's move on. BTI. So I went through that one as well. It's trading NTA at about NTA. So this is a investor into unlisted tech stocks. And it's, when I say unlisted, originally unlisted, and some of them get actually then listed, right? IPO'd on ASX, for example, like SiteMinder. They were one of the first investors in SiteMinder before they were listed. They sold some stuff when SiteMinder actually did list. And they've done obviously very well with that, right? So at the end of the day, they are investors into tech. and back some of these early startups, whether they can take it through to the end. So BTAs, I like the company. I think they pretty do a good job with investing the money of clients or investors out there. But it's trading under NTA, so it's trading at 127. The NTA is about 150, so it's got a big discount. And think to yourself, right now in this market, you know what I want to be. I want to be in something that's, I don't know. I like this company, but is this a quality number one? Would I be rushing to it? No, it isn't. While it's still trading above the trend lines here and it looks decent, it's just doesn't have that factor for me where I can follow the actual fundamentals of this as closely as I possibly could be, because remember, they are investors, so they got parts investments. They don't fully own this company, and it's a little bit troublesome for me. They don't have much say in what actually happens in this company. So as an investor, I'm okay, but as a investor slash trader and long-term lover, no, not quite, right? So for me, pass, but I like this company. So there might be a trade later down the track. It's still above, like I said, it probably just needs a little bit more, maybe get over to 130, and maybe we can take it to 140. All right, let's go on to the next one. So far, slim pickings, I have to say. Slim pickings all around, except that Bapcor. Okay, let's have a look at MGR. So again, when you look at it, it's just been a perennial disappointment for me, I have to say, with MGR. If you look at the last 5 years, right, there is nothing to get excited about. If you started 5 years ago, you would be absolutely nowhere with this company. And you look at their results today, gone backwards again, right? So it's a very mixed company of reporting and up and down, and just can't get confident, can't get comfortable with this. Not for me. MGR, Mirvac, pass, really pass, especially when you look at the long-term history. There's just nothing in there to get it really any excitement whatsoever going. So right now, it's just nothing. I'm honestly, yeah, I don't even have the words to say it, what I think about this company. It's just really hasn't delivered on anything that I think it should be delivering on. So pass. All right, let's go to the NWL. This is a good company. I like this company. Net wealth is pretty good, but you know, the reaction today, 3%, maybe just didn't quite hit the expectations for investors out there. But I think weekly is okay still. So if I'm in this and you had a good run here, right, I'm still okay. I don't think their result was that bad. I actually looked at it and I felt pretty comfortable with it, right? And I think maybe it will probably come back to the 1380. It will bounce back and start coming in. That obviously depending, and caveat is the markets, right, what the markets are doing. And, you know, like I said right at the beginning of the show, it could be some turbulence ahead. So just watch your trades carefully. Even though this wasn't too bad a result and it could swing, if it's a normal market. If it's a bad market, it could crash through and keep going down, right? So just be wary of it. But again, nothing in there to really get excited about. Nothing like the 360s or the car sales results. That's what I'm looking for through this reporting season. And I haven't seen too much of it. There is maybe, like I said, Satire is pretty good. So we're trying to follow those sort of companies. But so far today, nothing inspiring. Let's go to the next one. EDV. So Endeavour, maybe that's what we need to go. Turn to drink, because really at the end of the day, it's sad. Oh, and Endeavour, another sad moment today with going down. Look at that, daily, weekly. No, when this broke the trend, I think here, you never got in, never got back into it, right? So you would have saved yourself at least $1, $2. So this looks pretty sad. Pass. All right, two more before I let you guys go. Honestly, it is looking pretty tired today. Nothing's working. Lifestyle Communities down 6%. I had a look through that one, and again, the share price performance last 3 weeks didn't suggest they're going to have a bad result. But today's unfortunate movements, I think, suggest to us that it should have done better than it is. I had a look through it. They've gone backwards. And I know that the market at the moment is probably not conducive for them. being in the property space, high interest rates and so on. But I was expecting a little bit better than they could, because they are very good operators, I have to say. And strong reaction today makes me a little bit nervous, because if it breaks that support, you're out by the end of the week. So you got to be watching it very carefully. So another one that really is troublesome for me. I really like this company and I wish I could get back into it, but not. See, this is why I wait most of the time for the results. And this is why I'd say this is a minefield, right? With results. You've got a portfolio of 20 stocks, for example. You've got 20 stocks reporting, and you really don't want to see that sort of kind of reaction to your stories, or like your SEEKs yesterday. It's nice when you see like a 360 or a car sales, but they're not. I suppose they're not easy to find. So the easiest way to do is just sell before the results and come back to it the next day or two if the results are decent. I mean, that's probably minimizing your risk in a way if you're an investor. If you're a trader, you probably don't want to take the risk at all. You want to just be out of it completely, right? And come back to it when these things happen. So LIC doesn't look great. Like I said, the result wasn't bad. It just missed expectations. And probably, the outlook again was fairly uninspiring, because I think it's just hard to predict what's going to happen in the next 12 months, especially with interest rates. So they've got to be, these companies have to be cautious in a way, especially in the property sector. So I understand, but you probably at the end of the week, if it's just like that, you want to be out of this. Last one, and this is not great look, right? WZR. And I know this is probably, we shouldn't be trading this at all. We shouldn't be interested, but I just want to mention this because, you've got a company that's today looks like sacked their CEO without any explanation whatsoever, right? So it just said immediately the fact that he's leaving, they've promoted someone else. So they talk about this new guy, talk about the new CEO, but they didn't mention a word why this guy's been sacked, why they got rid of it straight away. I just don't like the non-transparency here. I want to know why he's been sacked, why it's gone. I mean, scandals. I like it. Give me some scandals, baby, or give me something, right? I know what's been going on. I just don't like when the things like that happen very quickly without any explanation. So for me, I just can't get my head around, even if it comes back over the trend, to trust this company at all, to be transparent and give you all the information you need. So for me, pass for the moment and pass for probably for some time, I'd say. So that's wiser for you. All right, so let's go quickly to see what's actually happening with the markets right here. You can see not many stocks are up, right? Green. Look at all these reds we've got. And FCL is the worst one, of course, with its capital raise. Not unexpected. The wires are down. You can see wires are down 9% on that announcement I just told you about today. So what is actually happening? Is there any companies that we follow up under? So Data3, nice, right? Company that we don't mind. XRF, another one that we don't mind as well, is in positive, which is okay. Ordinate, another one we've been trading, which is okay, holding up, which is nice. Let me see what else. EOL has come back nicely, okay, still holding. So not much joy, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, still we've got probably another 2 weeks to go with the reporting season. So unfortunately, we might see a bit more volatility over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be by myself again tomorrow, so please bear with me. Thanks very much for listening. Hold tight, fasten those seatbelts, and see you again tomorrow. Cheers, guys.